Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito po si Nico Fabian sa episode niya today, January 28 na po. January 28 and kumusta kayo po? Magandang araw sa inyo. Buenos dias con ustedes todos, mga vivientes de Zamboanga, ang mga kababayan ko dyan po sa Mindanao, sa Visayas at saka Luzon, and of course ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, East Malaysia, and very specific po talaga ang mga kababayan, friends, and Filipino migrants dito sa Sabah, no? And all my friends, mga Malaysian friends who is watching my program today, January 28, and today is a beautiful Tuesday po, no? Beautiful Tuesday. Kumusta kayo? Ready na ba kayo sa sabihin natin? Dahil ito po, today is the eve of Chinese New Year 2025. We are going to share later on ang bagong taon na Chinese New Year, no? The year of the snake. Ready na ba kayo for midnight mamaya? It's a very grand celebration for the Chinese community, and of course everybody will be joining ang Chinese community to usher, to welcome ang year of the snake. Alright, tuloy natin po. Kung sa malayo pa, we say salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam. Wherever you are, overseas Filipino workers dito sa Malaysia, sa mga ibang bahagi sa mundo, no? Kumusta kayo po? And hope everything is sailing smoothly sa buhay ninyo po dyan sa mga iba-ibang lugar po where you are presently temporarily staying and temporarily working, working, mga overseas Filipino workers, as well as ang mga senior citizens natin, kagaya ko, at saka ang mga super senior citizens, kagaya ni former Senator si Juan Ponce Enrile. Sabi niya, happy lang. Alright, tuloy natin po. Today, ang topic natin, mayroon tayong tatlong topic, but we will give first two priorities po, no? Sa topic natin sa programa ngayon. First priority will be again touching on the, sabihin natin, ang controversy, controversial issue tungkol sa procedure ng national budget natin po 2025. Second is ang TRICAM. They organize or sabihin natin na establish a new committee dyan sa Kongreso ng Pilipinas. Accordingly, they want, ang mga lawmakers natin, they want to establish a regulatory system or policy for the to curtail itong so-called fake news po, no? Sa mga bloggers, sa mainstream media po, or sa media family po, or media fraternity dyan sa Pilipinas. And thirdly, if may time pa tayo, then we will be talking about ang ethnic complaints by a famous lawyer dyan sa Pilipinas, Attorney Tapio, against Representative Dan Fernandez po. No? Dan Fernandez, ang manner he participates sa Quadcom hearing po. So, tatlong topic ito po, but the priority will be given to the first two, ang national budget natin at saka ang TRICOM, newly established committee dyan sa Kongreso. Okay, to start with, wala na tayong maraming salita pa. Let's go straight to the point. Ang issue natin ng national budget. Kahapon, nagsalita na ang si Representative Stella Kimbo regarding ang controversial issue po dyan sa BICAM report, no? Sa BICAM report at saka in totality about the procedures and the legality of sabihin natin itong national budget 2025. And I will share with you now itong news report from GMA. GMA aired yesterday evening at saka this morning. And let's listen to this. And from here, we will see. No? Sana lang po, makuha din natin po ang mga reaksyon ninyo. And of course, ang statement ni Representative Stella Kimbo, who is now the acting appropriation committee chairman dyan sa Kongreso. No? And the other day, she refuses to answer or to give her time sa mga media when the media dyan sa Pilipinas ask her about her comments regarding the hot issue po ng national budget. But yesterday, we are happy. We are happy to inform ang mga followers ko po dito sa Nikdok, the Real Talk with Nico, that she already opened her mouth. Siguro nakuha na siya po yon green light from the speaker or from mga superiors niya po. And yeah, nandito na po ang statement niya, ang answer niya. But unfortunately, there are some lawmakers, former senators po, they disagree. They disagree. Ang rason, ang answer ni Representative Stella Kimbo. Okay, let's listen to this news report from GMA 7. GMA 7. Sandali po. Nandito po.
National budget na ipinasa ng
Hold on,
Kongreso.
ha?
Ayon yan mismo kay Marikina
Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Totoong may mga blanco sa BICAM report ng 2025 national budget na ipinasa ng Kongreso. Ayon yan mismo kay Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo, acting chairman ng Appropriations Committee ng Kamara.
Please acknowledge po that there are blanks now doon sa BICAM report na pinirmahan ng BICAM and ni-ratify ng Senate.
Yes, so notwithstanding any typographical errors or any adjustments that are needed as a result of amendments, I authorize naman po ang technical staff ng both House and Senate to make all of these necessary corrections.
Pero sabi ni Kimbo, kahit may mga blanco, tukoy na ang pondo sa lahat ng items sa budget bago pa pirmahan ng BICAM members ang BICAM report. Otorisado raw kasi ang mga technical staff ng Kamara at Senado para gumawa ng anyay correction sa pondo batay sa omnibus motion na ito na nasa BICAM report.
Lahat po ng naging corrections ng ating technical staff, lahat po yan ay ministerial na lamang. Ibig sabihin, calculator activity na lang po. So, lahat po, wala na po silang discretion dahil lahat po ay decided na po by the BICAM members at the point of signing.
Pero tanong ng media kay Kimbo,
Consider typographical error daw po yung pag-fill in the blanks ng mga kamar.
There are some na typographical error. Dahil yung iba doon ay makikita naman eh.
Kasi technical sa omnibus
Yes.
po, allow yung paglagay ng mga rules kung mga
Yes.
siya
Yes. And there is another omnibus provision doon sa BICAM na in case na magkaiba po ang version ng printed at saka ng BICAM report, ang mag-prevail po is the printed version.
sabi ni Kimbo, wala naman ng blanco ang 2025 budget nang maging enrolled bill na ito. Kaya giit niya,
It is legal, it is fully enforceable, it is valid. Dahil po ang ating enrolled bill, ibig sabihin po ang General Appropriations Bill na nanggaling po sa Congress ay kompleto. Walang blank. So that's basically the reason for why ang naging basihan ng GAA ay kompleto din.
banat ni Kimbo, walang basihan at politika lang ang pagpatikos sa 2025 budget. Sinusubukan namin kunan ng pahayag ang Malacanang at Senado sa mga sinabi ni Kimbo. Pero gaya ng sinabi ni Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, walang blanco sa enrolled bill na dinala sa palasyo at pinirmahan ng Pangulo. Ano man daw tanong tungkol sa BICAM report, dapat Kongreso ang sumagot. Ayan po.
Ayan po ang statement ni Representative Stella Kimbo, who is now the acting chairman ng Appropriation Committee dyan sa House of Representatives. Sa palagay niya po, tama pa ang mga sagot ni Representative Kimbo tungkol sa mga issue, ang hot issue dyan sa bicameral report, no? Sa bicameral conference report na may mga blank items, no? Mga blank items. And sabi nga ni Representative o si Congressman Kimbo na okay lang daw po yun ang technical staff to fill up ang mga blank items, no? After all, na-approve naman na yun ang committee members ng BICAM. Ganun ba yun? So, kayo bahala po, no? Maghusga whether what she's selling or telling or informing us na ganito talaga, walang problema po sa issue ng National Budget 2025 dyan sa Pilipinas. But unfortunately po, no? Mayroon din ng mga news lumabas kagabi at saka this morning, January 28, no? Sa mainstream media dyan sa Pilipinas, na some senators, they disagree ang statement ni lawmaker, Representative Stella Kimbo. Now, let's listen to the report, report sa programa ni Ted Filon this morning po, no? This morning. They touch a little bit on this issue. And, of course, let's listen to this. Sandali. Ayaw ko na sana po, no? Ang BICAM issue, but unfortunately, blurred ang mga Filipinos po when it comes to this. Unless ang Kongreso, ang BICAM, committee members comprising of both the Senate and senators and the congressmen po will come out openly. Lahat kayo po. Kasi kayo yung nag-sign, no? Will come out and tell us the truth. Tell the Filipinos what really happened. Totoo ba yun? Ang mga allegations or claims made by ang colleague ninyo, si Representative Isidro Ungab. And at the same time, nagbigay ang former President ng Pilipinas, si Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang legal reaction niya tungkol sa issue. Anyway, excuse me, nandito po ang report na I managed to record during the program about Ted Filon at saka si DJ Shasha this morning. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen to this.
Sabi niya, some of our legislators.
This is regarding ang statement the Representative or Congresswoman Stella Kimbo. Nandito po.
Nagpahayag ni Representative Stella Kimbo.
Ano daw?
Siya ang acting House Appropriations Committee chairperson po ngayon. Ang sinasabi kasi niya, and I quote, lahat ng naging corrections ng technical staff ay ministerial. Calculator activity na lang. Sumagot si Tito Sen on Twitter or X na po ngayon. Sabi niya, some of our legislators need to undergo parliamentary rules and procedures workshop. Ministerial corrections by technical staff are never allowed in any bill, much more of a law. You bring it back to plenary. Napasagot din si Senator Ping Lacson dun sa tweet nitong si Tito Sen. Sabi ni dating Senator Ping Lacson, I fully agree with Sen Soto. We only approve amendments in plenary subject to style to save time during our period of amendments. Filling blank spaces amounting to billions, even 1 peso in a budget measure is substantial, not ministerial. It requires plenary action, no less.
Wow, that is appalling.
It is abhorrent. Ngayon,
This is ridiculous.
Mr. Chair,
This kind of statement really is,
sagutan ng mga magbabatas di ba?
giving me some butterflies in my tummy.
Oh, it's giving you chills, huh?
If you know what I'm saying, because I thought that this issue will be laid into rest. But it seems that, it's still boiling, huh? Medyo, kasi
kumbaga, inamin pala ni Ma'am Stella na hindi naman daw doon sa enrolled bill, right? Hindi sa enrolled bill, sa BICAM report. Tama ba? Klaruin lang natin. Iba ko kasi yung enrolled, meaning yung naisumite kay Pangulong Marcos for signature sa Malacanang, kumbaga, yan na yan, final na yan, pipirmahan niya. Ito po yung BICAM report, right? Para klaruin lang natin, tama. BICAM report, na sabi niya, anong eksaktong statement
Sabi
ni
niya,
Madam
lahat
Chair?
ng naging corrections ng technical staff ay ministerial, calculator activity na lang. Sabi niya rin, at the point of signing by the BICAM members, ay lahat naman po ng appropriations or amounts have already been decided upon. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng naging corrections ng ating technical staff, lahat po yan ay ministerial na lamang. Ibig sabihin, calculator activity na lang po. So lahat po, wala na po silang discretion dahil lahat po ay decided na po by the BICAM members. Ikaw bilang miyembro noon ng kapulungan ng Kongreso, alin ba talaga dito ang tama?
Pinabalik mo sa akin.
Hindi, alin ba dito tama para mas maintindihan namin? Yung sinasabi ba ni Tito Sen at yung ibang
Ang
legislator?
magandang question dyan, sa issue na iyan, ay yung sinasabi niya na approved na daw yung mga ginawang corrections, right? Calculator something, ano?
Calculator activity na lamang.
Calculator activity na lamang. Ang tanong doon, sino yun? Sino yung nag-approve? Yan. Sino yung nag-approve? Ano yung mga inaprubahan na iyon? Ano ang napag-usapan doon? Sino itong secretarial staff na to na binigyan ng pahintulot ng mga BICAM members? Totoo bang nag-meeting kayo sa BICAM? Ang siste dyan kasi, walang minutes of the meeting yan. Babalik sa
Ayun na
issue na
naman.
yan.
Ayan na.
Siste kasi dyan, walang record ng actual meeting yan. Diba? Meron silang record sa photo op. Nung unang nag-convene, picture-picture, kamay-kamay, usap-usap, well, of course, kain-kain, kasi nasa hotel sila. And then pagkatapos nun, sino-sino yung umuunon? Sino-sino yung sinasabi na nag-approve na ito yung mga blanco, you fill in the blank? Sino-sino yun? Will they...
Yan po. Yan ang statement na ang komentaryo ni Ted Filon at saka ni DJ Shasha during the program this morning, January 28 po. Klaro na ba ang issue? Okay na ba yun ang sagot ni Stella or Representative Stella Akimbo? Sabi niya, wala naman yung problema, no? Ang problema dyan, sabi ni Ted Filon, sino? Sino yung nagbigay ng authority? Kanino yung nagbigay authority po sa secretariat or technical staff po to fill in the blank sa bicameral conference report? Yun ang issue po, no? Medyo mabigat po, no? When the truth comes out, it hurts, di ba? It hurts. Pero ganun pa rin, kulang pa rin ang explanation. Sana lang po ang mga members ng BICAM, both sa Kongreso at saka sa Senado, will one by one come out openly and explain to the public, sa mga Filipinos po. Yun ang issue. Blurred pa rin. For me, blurred pa rin ang mga sagot. Ang mga sagot ni Stella Akimbo. Kayo po, what do you think? Okay na ba yun na sagot? And worst thing, si former Senator Tito Soto and si former Senator Ping Lacson, who are now eyeing again to return to the Senate, no? On May 12 midterm election, they disagree. They disagree. Worse still, sabi nga ni Tito Soto na ang problema dyan, dapat they have to attend itong mga lawmakers again na rehearsal, sabihin natin training seminars po to rehearse, no, ang ano nila, ang knowledge nila tungkol mga policies dyan sa Kongreso po, especially on the issue of procedure ng national budget po natin, no? natin. And we are talking about why nagiging controversial issue ito po or hot issue po. Dahil po, ang national budget involves ang taxpayers' money po. Pera natin ito po. And if you're going to misuse it or control itong mga budget ng taxes natin po dyan sa Pilipinas, mahirap na po. Ang kawawa dyan, ang mga taxpayers or tayo po, mga Pilipino. Yun ang issue. Okay, let's go to another issue. Ang TRICOM, ang Kongreso na naman mo. Kongreso na naman, sabi nga mga ibang tao, I'm sorry, but I'm just repeating and just quoting again sa mga sabihin natin quotations or mga salita ng mga Filipinos and of course mga politicians natin and mga media. They in fact they say that it's not the Congress, ang word Congress, but it is Tongress. Congressman na giging Tongressman, Tongressman. Dahil po you know I know la. You know I know la. Matik na yan po, sana all. Ganon yan po. And election is coming, mainit ang issue. But anyway, itong TRICOM po, no, that they established yesterday na to control or to curtail the fake news circulating dyan sa Pilipinas. Yeah, maganda yan po. Everybody doesn't want the fake news. Kasi fake news will definitely give us a very negative impact sa buhay natin po, sa buhay ng Pilipinas, sa buhay ng nation natin, ang Pilipinas po. Hindi dapat po itong mga fake news will be given to the public, no? Dapat yun ng mga genuine news lang po. Genuine news lang po, no? Para wala tayong problema, walang confusions po. So, okay, let's go to this topic now, ang TRICOM. Let's listen to this. Mayroon din tayong clippings dito po regarding itong TRICOM. Itong TRICOM. And let's listen. Sandali, TRICOM. Saan tayo? TRICOM. Alright. Saan na yung TRICOM? Let's listen to this and marami pa rin tayo po. Mga sabihin natin, ano ito? Footages dito, for you to also understand talaga what is TRICOM committee. TRICOM committee po. Sandali, you listen to this. Importante ito po para sa atin lahat. Importante na importante. And andito po, let's listen to this.
Pabalita na nag-create ang House Committee Rule ng Tri-Committee o TRICOM para imbestigahan ang mga vlogger na pinaniniwalaan nilang pinunduhan umano ng mga pinagbabawal na Philippine offshore gaming operators na tumatakbo pa rin sa ating bansa. Ipinahayag ni Representative Ace Barbers. Ang TRICOM ay gagawa ng isang regulatory framework upang maiwasan ang mga vlogger na magpapakalat ng peking balita at disinformation. Kaya natin sinasabi na kailangan magkaroon ng regulatory framework para itong mga vloggers na ito hindi umabuso. Ayan ang sabi ni Representative Barbers. Pero hindi niya pinangalanan kung sino ang mga vloggers na ito. Narito si Representative Ace Barbers.
Okay, lilinawin ko lang, no? Itong investigation na gagawin ng TRICOM, ang layunin nito ay magkaroon ng panukalang batas na magkaroon ng regulatory framework, no? Yung paggamit ng social media. Wala po tayong pinipigilan gumamit ng social media. Anybody can express what they want to say, they say what they want to express and vice versa. Wala pong curtailment of the freedom of expression and speech. Ang gusto lamang natin, dahil po yung gumagamit po ng airspace, so to speak, no, yung sinasabing digital space, no, dapat maging responsable ka rin. Kagaya ninyo, mga media personalities and journalists, kayo ay nasasakop kayo, napapailalim kayo sa KBP. Hindi kayo pwedeng gumawa ng kwento, ng storya na wala kayong basihan, no? At kung meron man kayong storyang ilalabas, ito yung kinukuha nyo yung magkabilang panig. Di ba? That is the normal and the logical practice, and that's what you call responsible journalism. I think dapat meron din tayong responsible blogging. Di ba? Hindi naman pwede magkalat tayo ng fake news para lang ikasira na ano. And over a consideration, ano yung consideration? May kumikita Di ba? Yung pagbablog, alam natin na mo-monetize yun. Di ba? Lalo na yung may nagpopondo sa kanila. No? And we were given the information na may nagpopondong mga sindikato sa Pogo at saka sindikato ng droga na mula sa China. Oo, kasi syempre, they're only after the engagements. The more engagements they get, the bigger the money that they make. No? Kaya yun ang ating layunin nga ay magkaroon ng disiplina. Hindi naman pwede yung araw-araw pagbukas mo ng social media may nagmumura. Hindi naman siguro natin gustong madinig ng ating mga anak at mga apo yan. That's why we want to regulate and perhaps even discipline. No? Itong mga gustong maging vloggers. No?
Inyong napanood at napakinggan si Congressman Ace Barbers. Ang hakbang nito ay isang kalukuhan. Iyan naman ay ayon kay Attorney Ferdy Topacio. Ito ay isang walang katuturan na pag-uubos ng pera. Ayon kay Attorney Topacio, kung nasasaktan ang mga members ng Quadcom sa mga batikos, magdemanda sila. Ayan kay Attorney Topacio, huwag takutin ang mga vloggers na mga kritiko sa pamamagitan ng pagpapatawag sa kanila dahil meron naman batas tungkol dito. Panoorin natin si Attorney Ferdy Topacio.
Anyway, speaking of Quadcom, alam nyo, nanonood na naman ako ng mga kapurasto ng ginagawa nito. By the way, alam nyo, nasasakta na kayo sa mga criticism, Kasi ito si Barbers, alam nyo, kalokohan yung ginagawa nyo, sinasabi ko sa inyo, Yung gagawa kayo, gumawa pa daw sila ng TRICOM, gagawa daw sila ng guidelines para yung mga naninira daw ng puri, mga kritiko, ay magkakaroon ng guidelines. Sir, ubusin nyo na naman ang pera namin ng walang katuturan parang EJK. Anong nangyari? Gumawa kayo ng batas ng EJK, katawa-tawa. O gagawa na naman kayo ng batas ng katawa-tawa. Bakit? Sapagkat, Mr. Barbers, itanong nyo po sa mga abogado ninyo, ang Pilipinas na po ang mayroong pinakamahigpit na batas laban sa defamation o paninirang puri. Sapagkat, tayo na lamang ang major country na mayroong criminal law na ang libel ay isang criminal offense sa lahat ng mga sibilisadong bansa. Of course, wala lang yung may tradisyon ng monarkiya at tulad ng England. Sa England nga po, hindi na pinapatupad Sa England po, merong batas na lese-majeste. Yung pag ikaw ay tinulaan mo, inonsulto mo yung hari, yung reyna, yung membro ng royal family, yun ay criminal offense, maaari kang makulong. Sa Thailand po, pinapatupad pa yan. Wala na pong ibang bansang malalaki o yung major country na criminalized ang libelo. Tayo na lang. Ano pang kailangan ninyong guidelines para sa media? Kung nasasaktan kayo, abay magdemanda kayo. Huwag yung tatakutin nyo, yung mga vloggers, yung mga kritiko, ipatatawag nyo. May batas na. Meron ding civil libel, defamation, fraud, and physical injuries. Pwede magdemanda ng danyos. Ako, ilang beses nang nagdedemanda ng ganyan. Meron pong remedyo sa ilalim ng batas. Hindi nyo na kailangan maglagay ng batas. Magagastos na naman kayong katakot-takot ng Jollibee na naman ang o-orderin nyo sa hearing ng walang katuturan. Pagkatapos, ibubuli nyo. Alam ko na ang binabalak nyo Ibubuli nyo yung mga kritiko nyo. Tatakutin nyo ng contempt, babawi kayo, di ba? Ugali nyo yan.
Si Attorney Ferdy Topacio. Sa ating mga viewers, kung kayo ang tatanungin, tama lang ba na magkaroon ng TRICOM para gumawa ng regulasyon para maiwasan ang pang-aabuso umano ng mga vloggers? O ang hakbang na ito ay isang paraan para makitil, mawala ang mga kritiko sa ating mga mambabatas? Ano ang iyong opinion? Please leave your comment. Maraming salamat. Hanggang sa muli. Bye-bye.
Yan po. Sa palagay ninyo po, tama ba yun? What the Congress is doing now, they form ito TRICOM to regularize, to come up with the policy na regularize ang mga vloggers po sa social media. Social media po, karamihan ng mga tao, they were saying, no? Especially for the past few years, no? Sabi nila maganda itong social media because some politicians, they control ang releases of important news para sa publiko po, no? And dahil mayroon tayong social media po, immediately, whatever maglabas ang storya po, marinig natin. Kung may makalukuhan ba o walang kalukuhan dahil po sa social media. Kung maghintay tayo ang mainstream media, so medyo mahirap, especially now, if you notice, parang, I'm sorry to say this thing, ang mainstream media natin po, some of the mainstream media is being controlled by somebody now. By somebody now. Dahil mayroon tayong social media, itong mga vloggers, although I'm not saying every vloggers, no? Lahat ng mga vloggers po, walang selfish motive. Mayroon din silang, mayroon din dyan ilan mga vloggers, irresponsible vloggers. That I agree. Pero in totality, you look at it, ang social media po, mga vloggers natin po, no? Those who are using the platform, itong digital platform po, no? Maganda yun po. Very, sabihin natin, beneficial po ito para sa publiko, para sa mga Filipinos po. Kasi lumalabas, labas agad ang feelings, the real situation po, kagaya sa mga rally, no? They will tell the truth na ilan ng mga participants sa rally because there are some mainstream media na they will not give you this, including itong mga political survey, if you notice, no? If you notice. And of course, pagdating sa Quadcom naman, na mga hearings ng Kongreso, meron din, I don't know, is the right word, the right word is bias or whatever lang po, no? But that is reality. Reality. That is really what is happening po ngayon dyan sa Pilipinas. And tama ba? To control. To control. Is the word control, tama ba yun? Is that the right word to control ang mga vloggers? No? Kayo po maghusga. Kayo po maghusga. But anyway, mayroon din tayong mga reactions, no? Reactions from other personalities po involved sa issue na ito. And ito po, I will share with you itong sabihin natin reaction. Especially isang popular din po, media personality, si Miss Alice Soto. Miss Alice Soto. And let's listen to this. Ano ba yan? Saan ba yan? 123. Let's listen to this po. When she was interviewing si Representative Ace Barber. Andito po. Let's listen to this. Sandali, Let's listen to this. And kayo na po maghusga. Okay? Sandali.
Sa ganun makapagbigay din po kayo ng inyong opinion.
Ay, naku, huwag mo ako papupuntahin ko. Wag, dahil marami ako masasabi na mga kalakisan na mga kasama niyo dyan. Hindi pa ako nakakapag-umpisa kong. Dahil aminado naman kayo, kalabisan din yung ginagawa ng ibang kasama kasama nyo dyan. Kalabisan.
Well, I will guarantee you na dahil ito po ay isang pagtalakay ng isyong may national importance at para po sa atin to, para po sa ating bayan, kailangan namin ng mga opinion mula po sa mga experts kagaya ninyo, no? Pagdating sa journalism, pagdating sa experience, kailangan po natin yan. Dahil kasi po, hanggang paggawa lang po kami ng batas, kami po ay dapat giyahan o gabayan nitong mga expert dito sa industriya.
Oo. Simple-simple lang kung in much the same way as, we would want people to respect us, ganun din sana yung ginagawad nating respeto sa ating kapwa. Yung ibang kasama nyo talaga, arguably talagang they cross the line, sa mga pagtrato po nila sa mga resource person na iniimbita dyan. And with that, Happy New Year, Kong. Hindi ka drug lord. Walang...
Happy New Year, Kong si Pachay Kong. Ha? Kong si Pachay Kong. So narinig niyo po, no? Grabe naman ang salita ni Alice Soto, no? Diretso talaga po, no? Totoo naman po. If you look at it, some of the members dyan sa Kongreso, mga lawmakers natin, especially itong Quadcom, no? Grabe naman how they treat ang sabihin natin mga resource persons nila. And now they want, galit ba sila? Now they want to take revenge and control itong okay. Anyway, nandito pa, isa pa po. Reaction, comments. One of the popular, famous, sabihin natin, blogger and media personality dyan sa Pilipinas. May program siya noon, but dahil very vocal siya sa issue ng gobyerno, sa administrasyon ni President Bongbong Marcos, she was asked to stop, suspend sa kanya sa programa niya po, ang public service program niya po. And I am referring to no other than si attorney ito po, lawyer ito po, no? Attorney Trixie Angeles. So may blogging siya. Ang title ng blog niya is Luminous. And yesterday, kagabi, mayroon siyang episode na naman, and she was touching on this issue. Now, let's listen ang mga comments, statement ni Attorney Trixie Angeles. Hold on po, sandali. Let's listen to this.
Itong sad media, hindi na namin...
Hold on.
Quadcom, there's also Kidcom, and now there's an upcoming TRICOM set to be convened by the House of Representatives to investigate certain vloggers, certain online actors that they have been unfairly criticizing several House members over these proceedings. Tell us, Congressman, initially, how many vloggers are you eyeing to summon to this TRICOM proceedings?
Well, all the bloggers, whether legit or illegitimate, whether pogo bloggers or narco bloggers, you're all welcome.
Okay. I have issues with what he says here. Unang sinasabi, all vloggers daw are welcome. Whether pogo bloggers or narco bloggers, pseudo bloggers and ano ba yun? And whatever. Kaulitin natin.
Well, all the bloggers, whether legit or illegitimate, whether pogo bloggers or narco bloggers, you're all welcome.
So, he talks about legit and whether vloggers legit or not legit. Pogo vloggers or narco vloggers. Teka, di ba? Wait a minute. It was because earlier on, during, I think, one of his interviews or during his privilege speech, ni-reveal ni Congressman Barbers na mayroon daw mga narco vloggers at saka mga pogo vloggers, insinuating na nagkakalat sila ng fake news dahil related sila dito sa mga organisasyon na ito na we know are already out. Well, in the case of Pogos, are already no longer allowed to operate here. And narco vloggers, of course, with the intention to link them to the drug trade. Teka, meron bang ganon? Hindi nyo pa nga napapatunayan kung mayroon ng ganon. And now you're talking about inviting everybody, including Pogo and narco vloggers. If sinong pupunta dyan if there is an insinuation of illegality? Furthermore, meron insinuation daw, meron daw legit na vloggers, meron hindi legit na vloggers. Ano ba ang definition ng legit para sa inyo? Wala namang regulation ang vlogging. In fact, walang regulation ang journalism. Teka, parang si Congressman Barbers, in his excitement to talk about it, parang hindi masyadong napag-isipan ito. Nevertheless, good faith muna. Let's just say na baka feelers lang yan, hindi niya naisip na may implications.
You're all welcome. In fact, we don't know where to send our invitation to, but we will definitely send it via online, maybe. Because it's not to run after the vloggers. But what we want to happen, the main objective here is for those who uses the digital space, so to speak, those who have been using social media platforms to express or maybe to express their opinion or maybe express the things that they want to express. That's fine. If they want to criticize congressmen, senators, mayors, governors, that's also fine. We don't have any problems with that. But what we want to produce out of this hearing, with the help of all these bloggers too, is that we should come up with a regulatory framework. There should be some semblance of discipline among those who want to use the social media as their platform to express their opinion, to express their freedom of speech. No? We're not curtailing them in the constitutional guarantee of freedom of speech. We want to have a sort of a discipline among those who want to use social media platforms as their venue to express their opinion. We cannot allow that everyday bloggers or the pseudo-journalists or the pseudo-political analysts would use the social media platforms to curse on people and peddle fake news. Ito yung operative word, yung fake news. Kasi they are seen to be peddling fake news. But there are only a few of them. Majority of the bloggers are legit bloggers who actually use the social media for information dissemination. It's okay that they make some analysis of the political, economic, and social situation. That's fine. But when you peddle a fake news, create a story against someone that you hate, plus the fact that every single day, minumura mo, you cursing, diba? Is this the way we want our children to experience their social media platform experience? That is not the way it should be.
Right.
This is quite dangerous. And not only that, like you, Katrina, and all other respected journalists or media or tri-media practitioners, you are bound by the KPP rules. Because you cannot come out with a news story that is not validated, verified, or even the opinion of the two sides are considered.
Sige, let's stop right there. So he talks about regulatory framework. So ano yung mga actions na ayaw niya? You peddle fake news, tapos yung minumura daw araw-araw. How often ka ba nakikita ng mga minumura ng ganyan? Hindi ba yung mga platforms mismo ang nagre-regulate na ng mga yan? Platforms are privately owned. And the general rule is Congress cannot reach into those areas that are of private concern. Halimbawa, pwede ba nilang i-regulate yung pagkalkal ng mga bags pag pumapasok kayo sa mall? Hindi, kasi private yan eh. General rule, may right to privacy ka, di ka pwedeng kalkalin, di ka pwedeng i-search nang wala kang search warrant. But in a private area, you're subject to the rules of the area. So dito, parang sinasabi nila na
hindi enough yung private na yung ginagawa ng mga platforms. And dito we can see that malayo na hindi na ito yung mga they are maligning the Quadcom. Wala na yung mga ganong salita. Sinasabi nila you're free to speak. You're free to make political analysis, ganyan. And most daw of the vloggers, I think naramdaman yung backlash. Most of the vloggers daw legit, and they use it for they use social media for information dissemination. But wait, he introduces the concept of KBP. Teka, ano ba ang KBP? Sabi niya, ikaw, referring to the journalist who's interviewing him, you are subject to the rules of KBP. Wait, stop, full stop. Bakit? Ano ba ang KBP? KBP is a private organization. It is not government, And this is and membership there is purely voluntary. Okay? Bakit? Because the Constitution says no law may be passed abridging the freedom of speech. Sabi na ng Supreme Court, if you regulate free speech, you are abridging it. So, ang sinasabi ni Kong Barbers, hindi we're not trying to free speech, pero ang sinasabi niya is, hindi pwede yung fake news, hindi pwede yung minumura, hindi pwede yung ganito. Ngayon, yung sinasabi niya is closely adhering to the constitutional guarantee. Pero bakit niyo binabanggit ang KBP? Parang pinapalabas niya, itong Vlad Media, hindi na namin yan i-regulate kasi meron silang KBP. Wait, what? Voluntary nga ang KBP. In lieu of a government regulation, nag-submit to voluntary, self-regulation ang media natin. Does it work? Not exactly. Bakit? Wala na. Since it's voluntary, umalis na po doon ang GMA. Umalis na ang DWIZ. So, paano mo ngayon isa-subject to your code, KBP, yung mga wala doon, yung mga hindi na miyembro dyan. So, I think Mr. Barbers may have misappreciated what the KBP is.
Okay, yun po. No? Anong saying niya po regarding ang mga reaction ni Atty. Trixie Engeles po? Okay, when we talk about the social media po, and the mainstream media, okay, yes, when we talk about news sa mainstream media, it is being edited po, be it radio, be it TV or newspaper po. Mayroon talaga tayo po sa to edit ang mga stories po, to make sure na tayo po, hindi tayo bias, balance ang mga reporting natin. Yun po, ang mga, we have chief editor, we have mga sub-editors po. We even have our news editors po to make sure that what we are giving, feeding to the public are not fake news po. No? Okay yun po. No? And sa social media, ang problema dyan, I totally agree. Sa social media or sa those who are using the digital platform, dire-diretso na yan po. Wala nang edit-edit po. No? Dire-diretso na yan. It is not the responsibility of the viewers or the listeners or the public. And I believe the Filipino people, they don't just simply believe everything what they hear from the social media. Sila din po, they look at it, they observe, they see saan ang source, credible ba ang source or hindi. And one thing good with the social media, madali lang po. Hindi kagaya noon, during the 80s, 70s, 80s, we have to wait for 24 hours, maglabas na naman ang mainstream media, ang mga news. And unfortunately, there are some politicians or the government is controlling the mainstream media. Kagaya, I think what is also happening now, there are some mainstream media controlled na po, no? They are not supposed, or they fear giving enough information to important issues po, no? Important issues, hot issues, controversial issues po, because they are afraid baka ang franchise nila will be suspended by the government. Ang social media, wala po. Dire-diretso yun po. No? Not all vloggers are irresponsible. we have a lot of, kaya sabi ni Representative Barbers, na ang dami din po ang mga legit and responsible vloggers po. Because ang purpose namin po is to disseminate information, the real, genuine information po. No? Pero meron din mga scrupulous, may mga agenda, selfish agenda po. And yun po. But let's also think, ang mga vloggers, ang mga observers, no? Let's say for example sa Quadcom hearing, they will not give negative comments if they don't see sa TV, see on their own eyes, with their own eyes, na what is happening po. No? What is happening. There's no respect sa mga resource person, how the members or lawmakers questioning their resource person, na nagagalit din po ang mga tao. Nagagalit din mga. Now you want to control? I don't know po. It's up to you. It's up to you po. Para sa akin lang po, my purpose is to make sure that my readers, my participants, my viewers will be properly informed with the genuine news po. Okay? Genuine news po. So, yun po ang two topics natin po. And mayroon pa ba tayong time? Okay, kung may time pa tayo, I will share you one more video clips regarding itong ethic complaints against Representative Dan Fernandez. This is tungkol po sa mga quad hearing po, no? And of course, kayo po, you already, or you have seen, or you saw how the Quadcom members treat their resource person or resources po, no? So, andito po, lumabas na po ngayon, nag-file ang complaint, ethic complaints dyan sa Kongreso po. No other than ang isang lawyer po, very famous lawyer din ito po, no? And let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. This will be my final video clip po. Just for your information po. Baka sabihin na naman nila fake news ito po, no? Hindi ito fake news. And let's listen to this.
More popularly known as Dan Fernandez or Attorney Google. Anyway, this is for certain conduct unbecoming of a member of parliament, unparliamentary conduct, which were committed during the hearings of the Quadcom. I will just give you the general details anyway. I will be leaving this copy for you, and those who wish for soft copies, I will viber to you later immediately a soft copy. If you recall, noon pong nililitis o dinidinig yung tungkol sa mga pogo, kinatawan ko po roon. Nirepresent ko si Miss Catherine Cassandra Leong. At lahat naman po tayo saksi sa ginawang paglabag sa mga karapatan ni Miss Cassie Leong. Specifically, not only the deprivation of the right to counsel, but physically, this was unprecedented in legislative history in this country. Nahaharangin mo yung abogado at hindi mo palalapitin sa kanyang kliyente during a legislative hearing. Sapagkat ang karapatan na magkaroon ng abogado upang makipagsangguni ang isang testigo sa legislative hearing ay ginagarantiya ng walang iba kundi ng ating saligang batas. Number 2, pagwawarning sa abogado na huwag bigyan ng payo ang kanyang
kanyang kliyente. Saang planeta po acceptable ang ganoong behavior? Nasasabihin mo, Atty. Topacio, do not approach your clients, otherwise you will be cited in contempt. How is that even possible? Number 3, yung hindi po pagbigay ng right to remain silent and the right against self-incrimination sa isang testigo. At si Congressman Fernandez, bagamat hindi abogado, hindi ko naman sinasabing kapag hindi ka abogado ay hindi mo na alam ang batas. Ngunit, sinasabi na nga po sa kanila, o dapat, a person who is in the legislature should be charged with knowledge of the law. Because, number 1, they are lawmakers. Paano kang gagawa ng batas kung ikaw ay walang alam sa batas? Pwede naman pong basahin ang mga desisyon. Tama naman, to an extent, si Congressman Fernandez, pwede kang mag-google at mag-google mo yung mga kaso. At kung meron kang hindi naintindihan sa kaso, meron ka namang legal staff siguro. O itanong mo sa kapwa mo, congressman na abogado, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? At pinoint out na nga po sa kanila na sa napakaraming kaso, the right to remain silent and the right against self-incrimination may be invoked not only in criminal proceedings, but in all proceedings, civil, administrative, legislative. At pinakita na nga po sa kanila ang batas. Pinoint out na nga po sa kanila yung batas. Bakit ayaw pa nilang sundin? That is also against the oath that they have taken when they took their oath of office to defend and protect the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of the Philippines and pronouncements of the Supreme Court, according to our civil code, are part of the law of the land. So yan po ang isang violation, ano? Number 2, yun pong the right of a witness to be treated with dignity and with respect. Kapag ikaw ay tinatawag, na violate po yan. Binabastos po nila ang mga witnesses, not only my client. But of course, I have no right to complain on behalf of the other witnesses who are also represented by counsel. Yun po. Number 3, yung pronouncements, very unparliamentary. Alam niyo po, in all parliaments in the entire civilized world, meron pong language na tinatawag nila unparliamentary. Diba? Ayaw na ayaw nila si Pangulong Duterte. Sinabi nila, do not use offensive words. Pero bakit sila? Tatawagin nilang pathological liar, puro papakyut, puro ganon. Tatakutin mo pa. Misleading the witness, sasabihin pa, tignan mo itong mga napatay, di umano dahil daw ng pogo. Tignan mo yan, we will grant you immunity. If you testify against them, that is misleading. The legislature cannot grant immunity. It is only the prosecution in certain cases and the prosecution with the consent of the court in other cases that may grant immunity by way of making a witness, a state witness. It is not for the legislature to grant immunity. They can only grant transactional immunity, which I can explain later on, but they cannot grant complete immunity. So, pagsama-samahin yan, ayaw nilang pakausap sa abogado. Bago, tatakutin nila para magsalita against the right to self-incrimination and against the right to remain silent. Pagkatapos, ika-grant mo na, papanabuan mo ng immunity na wala ka namang kapangyarihang ibigay. All of these are parliamentary conduct. And nakalagay po, may rules of conduct, hindi lamang ang miyembro ng mababang kapulungan, kundi ang mga public officials on how they conduct themselves. And it is my respectful contention that Congressman Fernandez has violated these norms of conduct. Ngayon, bakit sa Ethics Committee? Kasi may nakalagay po sa ating konstitusyon na yung mga ginagawa po ng isang miyembro ng lehislatura they can only be made liable, therefore, in no other place than the legislature. That's why we Committee on Ethics. They are supposed to police themselves. Now, huli na po, bago tayo pumunta rito, and I feel this is also of equal importance in this case. Sasabihin nila, walang mangyayari dyan sa complaint mo kasi sila din yan. Si Congressman Espares ang head ng Committee on Ethics. Pagtatakpan lang nila yung sarili nila. Well, unang-una, I would like to give our lawmakers, at least the majority, the benefit of the doubt. Although I doubt the benefit. Ngunit, by doing this, I want to prove two things. Number one should not sit idly by while the rights of persons are being trampled upon by the legislature. Dapat may magreklamo rito. Otherwise, gagawin nilang palagi yan sa lahat ng witnesses. Notwithstanding the caveat of the Supreme Court in Ong versus Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, which by the way, I argued before the Supreme Court, which says that all witnesses must be given due process. Pina-violate na po nila yan. Number two, by filing this, I want to hold a mirror up to our honorable congressmen. Tignan nga po natin, tignan nyo ang sarili nyo, kung anong ginawa nyo sa mababang kapulungan, which is supposed to be an august body, which is supposed to be populated by honorable men and women. Kaya nga honorable ang tawag sa inyo eh. Are you really honorable? Are you really august? Kaya nyo bang ipulis ang inyong ranks? Do you still have any shred of decency left in your bodies para makita na mali ang ginagawa ng isang miyembro ninyo at disiplinahin ninyo? Because by no stretch of the imagination is such conduct exhibited by Congressman Fernandez allowable or should be countenanced or tolerated by anyone.
Okay, yun po ang issue ng ethics complaint against Representative Dan Fernandez. Dan Fernandez. And of course, kayo po, you saw how these members, no, si Dan Fernandez also po, no, do his jobs in terms of interrogating, investigating ang mga resource person dyan po sa Quadcom. Do you agree that okay na okay yon an ethic complaints against Representative Dan Fernandez? So siguro po hanggang dito na lang ang January 28 episode natin po kasi mamayang midnight we are going to celebrate welcome ang Chinese New Year, Year of the Snake po 2025. So once again si Nico Fabian is hoping that masking paano medyo mahaba ang episode natin ngayon po. I'm just hoping that masking paano you manage to get some informations, important informations to at least you can see a clear picture of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Si Nico Fabian, once again, would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day-to-day. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. Pray for our country. Happy New Year to all our brothers and sisters, ang Chinese community natin, and to everybody. Welcome. Let's all welcome the Year of the Snake, and let's hope that this year will be a prosperous year for each and every one of us. Nico saying bye and see you tomorrow.